Alright guys, in today's video we're going to show you how to do an oil change on your 2011 to 2016 Scion TC. Alright, so here's everything that you'll need in order to change your oil. You'll need a jack stand, you'll need oil, which is usually specified as 0W20 for this car. You'll need your oil filter. You're going to need one of these oil filter wrenches that fits the oil filter here for different Toyotas. You'll need a crush washer to replace the old one. Need a ratchet or a breaker bar, an extension, a 3/8 to use with your oil filter wrench. And then you need a 14mm socket. You'll need a torque wrench as well if you want to get the torque spec just right, although not totally necessary. And then optional, you want a set of gloves, some shop towel, and even some brake parts cleaner or carb choke cleaner. All right, so step one is to let the engine run for a few minutes and get the oil warm. You don't want it to be super hot, but just warm enough that it flows out of the car easily. Next step is going to be to get in your car, put the car in gear, and make sure the e-brake is up. Go ahead and pop your hood, open your hood. With that done, it's time to jack up the car. Another bonus as well too is to use these rubber mats so you don't have to lay on the concrete. And for my car, it's a bit lower and has wider wheels, so what I need to do in this case is actually turn my wheel outwards here, and then I put the jack in through the wheel well area, and there's a specified jack point that we'll be jacking from. Get underneath the car and access our jack point, which is this point right here. This is a reinforced area where the jack is meant to go. So we're going to put the jack under that and start jacking up. Now with the weight of the car on the jack and lift it up, you can put your jack stand underneath your car. And a personal tip is I like to keep some of the weight on the jack, most of it on the jack stand, but keep the jack there as well, just as a double measure backup safety thing. Now, as far as oil filters go, you can run what you want. A lot of people are going to give me flack for using a CarQuest one. At the end of the day, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It really doesn't matter near as much as people say and debate it. So I'm going to run this on mine. It's my car, so don't worry about it. I don't find your wife very attractive, and I don't worry about it because I'm not with her. Optional, beverage break, Arnold Palmer. All right guys, so what you're gonna do here is loosen your oil drain bolt. And this is that 14 mil that we were referring to earlier. Just make sure you're twisting counterclockwise, of course. This is where the fun begins.
This is where the fun begins.
Let's see if we can do this without making a colossal mess. Let's take a bet now. Oh my gosh. I did make a mess. Really, you're gonna wanna let this sit about 15 minutes or so. And we want to lower the car back down too, so that it's level and that all the oil is coming out. Because if we leave it like this, there's probably gonna be some sitting, in the back of the motor somewhere or part of the sump. Okay, unfortunately I just realized the camera was set to photo mode, so it was only taking pictures there. I'll do a voiceover with those pictures. And then once we're done with everything down there, we're gonna move on to lowering the car back down, making sure it's on a flat surface, and then adding our oil back in. Okay, with the car back on level ground and everything done underneath, make sure your oil drain bolt is tightened down and that your oil filter is back in place. We're gonna go ahead and add our oil in. Now, It calls for 4.6 quarts. So get around that mark and then start checking your dipstick to make sure that you're at a level amount. You could have oil remaining from, you know, your last set of oil. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but of course you want a funnel. Make sure it doesn't drip all over your engine. And then make sure your oil cap is back on. And close your hood. Okay, so the last thing you want to do is to get in here and reset your oil light. So you're going to put your key on. Okay, so turn your key on. And now using your odometer trip reset button, you're going to navigate to trip A. And I passed it there, of course. All right, now that it's on trip A. Okay, now that the key is off, go ahead and hold down that odometer and trip button and then turn the key on. And you're gonna see it blink with 3 lights there, counting down to 1. And that resets your maintenance light. So that is the last step to ensure that every time you're getting in your car again, it's not prompting you for an oil change. So with that, let's go ahead and make sure it starts up and check the car, make sure there's no oil leaks or anything funny going on. Okay, everything looks fine. There's nothing immediately noticeable, but we'll keep an eye on it for the near future just to make sure everything is fine. All right, thank you guys for watching. Hope that was insightful. Now that that's done, go rip some VVTi tech. Just go rip some Toyota VTEC in your Scion TC. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.